he's tottering within 6 weeks of becoming Prime Minister. The first thing he has to do is get rid of this most unattractive individual, Dominic Cummings.
Yes, you've written extensively in the Daily Mail about this. Describe for my listeners, the benefit of my listeners, what it is you find so reprehensible about this fellow.
Well, your listeners are decent people working, in offices, firms, schools, hospitals up and down the country, in London. And if your boss starts shouting foul-mouthed abuse at you, threatening you, getting you thrown out of the office by the police, and behaving very, very disrespectfully to senior people. There was a most upsetting episode, or a series of them actually, in the House of Commons on Tuesday night, when Mr Cummings, reportedly the worse for wear, sort of lurched up towards the leader of the opposition and started to try and accost him and challenge him. Now, if I'd done that, or you'd done that, as a working journalist, we'd have been called in front of the managing editor the following morning and sacked on the spot.
Yes.
But it's not just that. He goes up to distinguished MPs and threatens them, bullies them, shouts at them, "I'm going to purge you," and I'm afraid I can't use the language he uses on a family radio channel.
I'm grateful.
Now, again, if I'd done that, or an ordinary member of the public had done that, out you'd have gone. A school teacher behaving that way, what a lesson it sets. This is the most important man in Downing Street. The most important man in the country at the moment. What a lesson it sends. What a message is sent out about ordinary, decent behaviour, that this is tolerated by the Prime Minister.
And what I find extraordinary is, and you know Boris Johnson, I'm sure you know Sir Eddie Lister, who's his Chief of Staff, and they're both not those sort of blokes. They're collegiate, they're quite patrician in their style, they want to be inclusive, so it does all seem to track back to one door.
Well, Mr Johnson appointed Mr Cummings, and unless he acts very fast to get rid of him and actually reprimand him, say this conduct is unacceptable, and I think that means doing it today, by the way.
Gosh.
Mr Johnson is sanctioning this conduct. He's saying it's okay to bully subordinates, it's okay to swear at MPs, it's okay to threaten people. Now, I'm quite astonished about this. You're right. I mean, when I worked for Mr Johnson at The Spectator, that was exactly not what he was like. But the question I'm asking myself now is maybe he's just gone to people reach. It's called the Peter principle. You're promoted to a job you actually can't do. You're very good at all the other jobs, and then you get the top job, you can't do it. And at the moment, I'd say Mr Johnson can't do this job. He's not up to being Prime Minister. You look at that ghastly, shambolic performance yesterday.
Yes.
In front of those police officers, most inappropriate, by the way, where he lost his line and started to meander.
Yes.
I feel that it's a very serious thing. At the moment, I would say that Mr Johnson is not fit to govern Britain.